the new God of eternal life, the new gods of eternal lives, a new God of eternal life, the new goddess of eternal life, the new goddesses of eternal lives, a new goddess of eternal life, the old God of eternal life, the old gods of eternal lives, a old God of eternal life, the old goddess of eternal life, the old goddesses of eternal lives, a old goddess of eternal life, the greater God of eternal life, the greater gods of eternal lives, a greater God of eternal life, the greater goddess of eternal life, the greater goddesses of eternal lives, a greater goddess of eternal life, the lesser God of eternal life, the lesser gods of eternal lives, a lesser God of eternal life, the lesser goddess of eternal life, the lesser goddesses of eternal lives, a lesser goddess of eternal life, the greater spirit of eternal life, the greater spirits of eternal lives, a greater spirit of eternal life, the lesser spirit of eternal life, the lesser spirits of eternal lives, a lesser spirit of eternal life, the major God of eternal life, the major gods of eternal lives, a major God of eternal life, the major goddess of eternal life, the major goddesses of eternal lives, a major goddess of eternal life, the minor God of eternal life, the minor gods of eternal lives, a minor God of eternal life, the minor goddess of eternal life, the minor goddesses of eternal lives, a minor goddess of eternal life, the superior God of eternal life, the superior gods of eternal lives, a superior God of eternal life, the superior goddess of eternal life, the superior goddesses of eternal lives, a superior goddess of eternal life, the inferior God of eternal life, the inferior gods of eternal lives, a inferior God of eternal life, the inferior goddess of eternal life, the inferior goddesses of eternal lives, a inferior goddess of eternal life, the ancestor God of eternal life, the ancestor gods of eternal lives, a ancestor God of eternal life, the ancestor goddess of eternal life, the ancestor goddesses of eternal lives, a ancestor goddess of eternal life, the ascendant God of eternal life, the ascendant gods of eternal lives, a ascendant God of eternal life, the ascendant goddess of eternal life, the ascendant goddesses of eternal lives, a ascendant goddess of eternal life, the descendant God of eternal life, the descendant gods of eternal lives, a descendant God of eternal life, the descendant goddess of eternal life, the descendant goddesses of eternal lives, a descendant goddess of eternal life, the transcendent God of eternal life, the transcendent gods of eternal lives, a transcendent God of eternal life, the transcendent goddess of eternal life, the transcendent goddesses of eternal lives, a transcendent goddess of eternal life, the future God of eternal life, the future gods of eternal lives, a future God of eternal life, the future goddess of eternal life, the future goddesses of eternal lives, a future goddess of eternal life, the present God of eternal life, the present gods of eternal lives, a present God of eternal life, the present goddess of eternal life, the present goddesses of eternal lives, a present goddess of eternal life, the past God of eternal life, the past gods of eternal lives, a past God of eternal life, the past goddess of eternal life, the past goddesses of eternal lives, a past goddess of eternal life, the God of eternal life, the gods of eternal lives, a God of eternal life, the goddess of eternal life, the goddesses of eternal lives, a goddess of eternal life, the half God of eternal life, the half gods of eternal lives, a half God of eternal life, the half goddess of eternal life, the half goddesses of eternal lives, a half goddess of eternal life, the vessel of eternal life, the vessels of eternal lives, a vessel of eternal life, the person of eternal life, the persons of eternal lives, a person of eternal life, the image of eternal life, the images of eternal lives, a image of eternal life, the imagination of eternal life, the imaginations of eternal lives, a imagination of eternal life, the belief of eternal life, the beliefs of eternal lives, a belief of eternal life, the thought of eternal life, the thoughts of eternal lives, a thought of eternal life, the word of eternal life, the words of eternal lives, a word of eternal life, the action of eternal life, the actions of eternal lives, a action of eternal life, the reaction of eternal life, the reactions of eternal lives, a reaction of eternal life, the situation of eternal life, the situations of eternal lives, a situation of eternal life, the circumstance of eternal life, the circumstances of eternal lives, a circumstance of eternal life, the relationship of eternal life, the relationships of eternal lives, a relationship of eternal life, the number of eternal life, the numbers of eternal lives, a number of eternal life, the formula of eternal life, the formulas of eternal lives, a formula of eternal life, the equation of eternal life, the equations of eternal lives, a equation of eternal life, the symbol of eternal life, the symbols of eternal lives, a symbol of eternal life, the color of eternal life, the colors of eternal lives, a color of eternal life, the thing of eternal life, the things of eternal lives, a thing of eternal life, the way of eternal life, the ways of eternal lives, a way of eternal life, the place of eternal life, the places of eternal lives, a place of eternal life, the time of eternal life, the times of eternal lives, a time of eternal life, the event of eternal life, the events of eternal lives, a event of eternal life, the result of eternal life, the results of eternal lives, a result of eternal life,